Yo, what's up, folks? This Impact, and I want to take this time to welcome you back to the Hurt Business 101. Let's get right into this video, man. Today's video, I want to discuss a topic based on comments made by Regis Prograis' strength and conditioning coach toward Devin Haney when he talked about Haney not being tough enough to deal with Regis because he's a private school kid and he's sheltered and therefore he wouldn't be prepared to deal with the type of rugged violence that Regis was going to bring to him. And I want to touch on that subject because I think I want to add some perspective to it, and I just want to discuss it. It was real interesting. First of all, I want to tell you I'm entertained by that kind of stuff. I am a pure boxing fan, hardcore boxing fan. It's a misconception that hardcore boxing fans don't like the build up and stuff like that to the fight. We do enjoy that build up. I mean, some people act like they don't, but I mean, we do enjoy the back and forth as long as it's not like WWE. You know what I mean? Where it's just like a whole lot of nonsense and bullshit going on. But we will deal with the back and we will take the back and forth and we will enjoy something that we think is going to make the fight fiery. But Regis Prograis' trainer, strength and conditioning trainer, made those comments. Don't take that literal. I mean, you can if you want to, but I believe, see, he's an OG. And when I say OG, I don't know his background, if he's tough or not, but I just know he's an old head, and everything that I've heard said about him, he being from the street, you know what I'm saying? He understands that Devin Haney's background as being a private school kid, his dad providing a better quality of life for him and a nice education for him and stuff like that. He understands, see, part of boxing is mind games. Okay, the mind game, the fight starts outside the ring before it ever starts inside the ring. Knowing Devin Haney's age and knowing his situation is something to try to get under his skin. So the trainer would throw that out there. See if he gets Devin Haney to bite. See if he can get him to have an emotional response. Not just right there to start getting in his head, but see if he has an emotional response to that when they get in the ring. You see, if Devin Haney wants to try to prove that he's tough and that just because he went to a private school, he's still gonna prove that he's tough, and he tries to go mano a mano and throw all of his attributes that could actually aid him in winning the fight. If he can get him to abandon his movement and abandon his defense and come out and try to go toe to toe and bang it out and prove that he's tough, to try to prove something to those guys, then he won that battle. So I know fighters got to be really careful with how they feed into certain things. Sometimes it's not just about the reaction you give on the spot. They're trying to elicit a certain reaction when the fight actually happens. Sugar Ray Leonard, once upon a time when he fought Roberto Duran, their first fight, a lot of people don't remember this. If you're not a certain age limit, you wouldn't remember all of the stories about this. But Roberto Duran, leading up to the fight, the media was saying, Sugar Ray Leonard was white collar and he wasn't, he was just a pretty boy fighter, you know what I mean, an Olympian that wouldn't get dirty, just wanted to run around and move and play it safe. He wasn't going to fight pretty much in the trenches and stuff like that. And Sugar Ray Leonard fed into that. And when he got into the fight, he actually fought the fight. Roberto Duran would have never beat Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I mean? He didn't have the style to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Roberto Duran was a bad MF though. But I'm just saying, if Sugar Ray Leonard would have stuck to his own principles and not fed into all of that stuff, he would have beat him the first time. He would have stayed on the outside, boxed him, moved, fought in spots. He would have stood and fought with him, and you know what I mean, moved when he needed to move, and he would have made him, look a lot worse than he did, and he would have walked away with the W. But all of that talk made him feed into it, and he acknowledged that later on, that he felt like he had to prove everybody that he was blue collar and that he was willing to get dirty and he wasn't just this pretty boy fighter. So when you listen to those comments, take that in mind. But I'll speak for a couple minutes on whether I believe that to be true or not. First off, there's some truth to it, but it's not all true. And I'll explain why. right, growing up, when I'm from the gutter, and I won't share my story with you guys like that, because these videos I make these videos. It's not about me. I share my experience, but I don't want to get into too much of my life. Um, but yeah, I come from the mud, so me coming from that, I understand exactly what he's doing, but I know a lot of that to be false firsthand, because number one, growing up in the hood and growing up around a lot of violence and getting into a lot of fights, and being from where I'm from, there's a lot of guys, man, that grew up poor and that went to public school and didn't have nothing, and all of these things, man, they was cowards. I had some friends that was cowards. You know what I'm saying? I've been around a lot of guys that was acting like they was tough because they was from that environment. They could talk the talk, and they knew all the slang, and they surrounded themselves with some guys that was, you know, really cut like that, but they wasn't really cut like that. And then you know, so I don't want to sit up there and put this out there like because a guy's from that element, he's gonna be tough. Because I also knew some guys that was from the Catholic schools and some guys that was from private schools that would, everybody considered them nerds and didn't think they was tough. Now they would bow down on some stuff just because they didn't want to go to the street level, because they didn't have the support for something like that, and they wasn't built for guns, or they wasn't built for this or that. They didn't want to get jumped and stuff. But I have seen some guys take those glasses off, put that backpack down, and put that metal lunchbox down that everybody laughed at, and put their foot in somebody's ass too. So, and also with me having tons of experience in the gym, I've seen it. You know, it does not mean, see, when people look at the circumstances you were born in, you could be impoverished and everything like that, go to public school where it's a lot going on. The reason why you seem to see that these guys are tough or whatever, because the situation that they're in gives them opportunities to show their toughness. Whereas though a person that's maybe in private school, that shit ain't tolerated over there. So they may not be getting into fights. They may be just a person that just, you know, that is not confrontational, ain't looking for no trouble. They just a cool person, but inside they may be a beast inside. They may actually have heart. You know, just because they didn't have a bunch of fights and stuff like that to actually bring it for you to have opportunity to see it. But here's the thing. Now, when I'm looking at Devin Haney, I've seen Devin Haney get dirty. I've seen him hurt. I've seen him stand and fight. I've seen him hurt against Jorge Linares. He got hit by a straight right hand by Jorge Linares that hurt him pretty bad too. And here's the thing, people think Jorge Linares is not a big puncher. They just look at the guys that they really know for knockout punches. Go back and watch some Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares is a notorious right hand puncher with tremendous power in his right hand, and he's fast, so he can catch you with that shot and you won't see it. And I don't care who you are, if you get caught by somebody with his amount of power and speed and accuracy right on your button and you don't know it's coming, you can be hurt. So, but how did he respond from that? He got himself together. He showed character. Not 1 second in that fight did it look like he was quitting. Also, I watched him in there against Lomachenko. He got in there and he went through some things in that Lomachenko fight, and I opened my eyes and I was looking. I said, I'm gonna find out right now if this young man is really, is he how tough he is and what he has on the inside. Is he really cut for this? Because he had a couple moments there where he could have, I was looking to see if he was going to mentally pack it in. And what did he do? He came back roaring, and in that final round, he even won that final round. He didn't pack it in. He kept it going. So the boy has heart. You know what I mean? And on top of that, he went over there to Australia to fight George Kambosos. George Kambosos came off an impressive win against Teofimo Lopez. And he had no problem going over there to fight George Kambosos, and he signed up to fight him twice, regardless of if he won the first. Regardless of the fact that he felt like he was going to win the first one, he still had to go back over there with all the titles and fight again and take the short end of the stick both times. So you know, like I said, toughness is what's inside of you. Everything around you is what the circumstances you in and the situation that you find yourself in just gives you more or less opportunities to prove it to us. Now, what happens now is, see, the trainer put pressure on Regis Prograis. And listen, I think Regis Prograis is a dog, but what he put on Regis in this aspect is all that murder, death, kill stuff and that private school stuff that he put out there. Regis gonna have to go out there and back that up. Now, when Devin Haney is pot shotting and moving and trying to stick and move, and like I made in my prediction video, Regis has the tools to try to he has the power to hurt Devin, no doubt about it. I mean, he's coming in here as a live dog, but now he's gonna have to go out there and really go after Devin. If he starts being hesitant and acting like he's not trying to get pot shotted and stuff like that, like I talked about, and he doesn't just let his hands go and just try to maul Devin and put his hands on him wherever he can. If he's trying to sit back and we start getting into them later rounds and we know he needs that knockout and he's not charging full force ahead to get that, then all of these private school kid conversations are going to come back up. You know what I mean? About all of that stuff you said. Now, like I said, I believe they're just trying to get under his skin with it. But I definitely wanted to give y'all my perspective, because always remember, what comes out of you is something that's already inside of you. It's a response to something that happens. It's not what happens to you that makes you tougher. Sure, the things that happen in your life can help mold you and help harden you some to a degree, help desensitize you to some things. But it's those things and those opportunities to show what you have and show what's inside of you. It's like any fighter. We don't know if a fighter can deal with adversity, how a fighter is going to respond to get knocked down, how a fighter is going to respond to getting hurt that first time. You know what I'm saying? We always wait for that. But just know, when that fighter gets knocked down, the way he gets up and responds, that was already in that guy. You know, we have questions on if it's there or not. But once we see it, it's not like he just did something new. It's just that he showed us what was on the inside when he got up from that knockdown, or when he got hurt, and what he showed. Did he pack it in mentally? Did he pack it in physically? Or did he come out roaring like a lion and say, not today, I'm still going for it? That's what we're looking for. And that's what I hope we get in this fight from both of these guys. I hope everything that was talked about and how these guys went at each other at the press conference, I hope they go at each other that much more in the fight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of the Hurt Business 101. You know what they say, it's no business like show business, but I say it's no business like the hurt business. 1-0-1, done.